that is available as well. Honestly, this is kind of one of those kind of reach in and pull, you know, mystery champion out, and that is not a champion I was expecting to be first pick. Alistair in the support role as the first pick is something that is completely not first pick priority in my mind. I mean, it's great as an engaged tool, it's great as a tank-based support, but the game has started to move a little bit away from that. We've started to see,
uma coisa bacana do Atrox é que ele é um campeão muito forte no X1 porque a passiva dele acaba renascendo o Atrox, né?
Sim.
E se enfrentar, mas pode usar campeões, não morreu, Atrox, Zek, pode sim, é do kit do campeão, então naturalmente pode ser utilizado. E agora sim, finalmente alguém traz o York, um campeão muito forte no X1, e Kalista do outro lado, Kalista que apareceu até em final do X1.
Kalista é campeão com bastante mobilidade, estaca as lanças, pode explodir, né? Não dá tempo de regeneração, porque quando puxa, ela causa bastante dano. Pode ser certo com o York, que tem bastante tempo, precisa bastante tempo pra bater ali e recuperar bastante vida.
Eu gostei da escolha de volta.
Eu não gosto muito da escolha da Kalista, principalmente contra o York, porque o alcance da Kalista é muito baixo pra lidar com o alcance dos fantasmas do York. Então realmente ela vai ter uma certa dificuldade pra sair do alcance dele. E mesmo com toda a mecânica dela de kite, ela ainda vai estar no alcance das habilidades do Revolta, que é a principal fonte de dano dele, a principal fonte de incomodar o inimigo. E é nisso que ele vai tentar se fortalecer, no sustain, nessa fonte de dano, mas ao mesmo tempo ele tem pra cima, tem que tentar encerrar logo, porque se a Kalista for farmando os próprios minions aí, os próprios fantasmas que o Revolta for deixando, ele vai se complicar, porque conta o farm também.
Convenhamos que o Revolta não tinha um campeão de X1 que é o Yang, né? E o Micão. Os dois foram campeões de X1. Então fica fácil, né?
Fica fácil.
Pode ser até via internet, pode ser até pelo Facebook, tá falando, ajuda aí, Micão, que eu uso. Aí com dois craques do X1 fica fácil. Tem o BACKDOORS do lado, também um ótimo jogador de X1. Brasil, digamos aí, tá bem servido.
Eu gostei sim da escolha do York. Parecia que ele já sabia do que ia jogar. Então, vamos lá, tira revoltinha contra o White Lotus.
Vamos lá, então, meu cara do Tichinha. Então, revolta a gente já comentou. Lado azul, enquanto que o White Lotus lado vermelho. Começou ali com o escudo de Doré e poção de vida. Enquanto que o White Lotus tem ali a sua lâmina de Doré e a poção de vida. E claro, né, fica ali aquela sua ligação, mas não tem pra quem dá, né?
O White Lotus pode tentar fazer a ligação com o Revolta. Não funciona, né, também.
Bem difícil aí, mas pode ser um teste, quem sabe.
O Revolta tem até bastante armadura, tá bem ali, tá seguro, tem bastante vida. Chama a sentinela o White Lotus. Começou ali com estacando as suas lanças já, fazendo dano.
O Revolta acabou pondo o E, né, inicialmente, então já mostra aí a que vem. Enquanto isso, o White Lotus, já comentou, acabou upando ali a sua lança mesmo. Enquanto isso, o E também. E acaba que tá aí, o início da rota. O Revolta tem um sustain bacana por conta dos espectros, vamos ver como que ele vai utilizar isso. É sempre aquela questão de administrar a mana. Pode voltar básico, poderia até com uma lágrima da deusa rapidamente. A gente viu essas escolhas acontecendo, inclusive, em outros X1. Então, vamos ver. O Revolta agora, lógico, ele sobe um pouco de dano porque a Kalista, obviamente, ataca de senso.
Sim, a Kalista tem esse ponto um pouco forte agora no começo da partida. É tranquilo farmar de Kalista com as lanças, porque ela recupera a mana, você puxa a lança e você farma, recupera uma porcentagem da mana. Então ela pode fazer isso pra estacar a lança no Revolta, estacar no minion, puxar e a skill não entrar em tempo de recarga. Então é uma mecânica bem forte de Revolta ainda level 1.
Tá bem difícil por enquanto pro Revolta, agora finalmente pega level 2. Ele acaba jogando embaixo da torre, 9-1, 10-1 agora em farm a favor do White Lotus. Muitas dificuldades pro Revolta por enquanto pra farmar. Mas lembrando, York tem um all-in bem forte, ainda mais level 6. Nisso pode ganhar aí a luta, essa troca.
O que o Revolta por enquanto tá tentando jogar, né? Ele não tá farmando, então ele tem que manter o sustain pra passar de level, conseguir ouro, voltar pra base, comprar uns itens e aí sim tentar esse all-in como você viu, tá aí, os carniçais do York dando bastante dano em cima do White Lotus.
Lembrando que os carniçais contam como farm, né? Então nisso o Revolta acaba tendo essa desvantagem. E olha só, o Revolta não tem mais mana, tinha praticamente. E olha, mas pode sacrificar ele. Eles não são dos dois lados. O White Lotus ainda pode perder. Vamos dar uma olhada. Vai pra cima dele, Revolta incendiar. Não foi suficiente. suficiente. Foi basicamente a cura, Tichinha.
O Revolta ele até foi inteligente, ele deu incendiário antes do White Lotus pegar a cura pra cortar um pouco dessa regeneração e tentar esse all-in, mas não deu certo. O White Lotus conseguiu sair vivo, tá bem à frente no farm. O White Lotus, por enquanto, a Kalista vai funcionar.
Vai funcionando, mas foi por muito pouco que o Revolta não venceu. Seria realmente uma forma muito inteligente, né? Veloz ali em tomar essa decisão. Agora tem dificuldades, precisa abraçar essa torre. O White Lotus já está level 4. Revolta sempre utiliza ali seu espectro que cura. E o White Lotus agora até jogou uma lança. Olha, essa lança, o White Lotus vai tancar um hit da torre. Eu acho que é até viável que tivesse pego o Revolta.
O problema é que ele pode transferir as lanças ali se ele mata um minion, né? Então o Revolta tem que tomar muito cuidado com esse Q da Kalista, que é uma habilidade bem forte. O Revolta com pouca mana, não tem muito como dar o seu sustain. E o Revolta não tá com muita defesa. Pode ver que as lanças destacadas do White Lotus estão causando bastante dano no Revolta.
Pro Revolta conseguir a vitória nesse X1 vai ter que ser realmente ir pra cima com tudo.
Sim, ele por enquanto vai pra base, 6 de farm. Não vai ter ouro algum pra comprar, tá aí. Voltou com pouquíssimo, 410 de ouro ali, ele gasta, compra e agora vai voltar.
Vai pra uma espada longa em poção. O pior é que é o seguinte, né? Não tem mais depressão de mana, então o que acontece? Não tem muito como regenerar essa mana de forma veloz.
Não tem muito o que ele fazer, comprou um pouco de dano, o White Lotus vai pegar as duas curas antes que ele vai pra base, né? Pra não deixar a cura ali pro Revolta, não pegou. Pelo que parece, o White Lotus não vai pra base? Vai pra base sim, deixou a cura ali por perto.
O Revolta pode até se suspeitar, né? Pode até pegar logo isso aí, tirar do adversário principalmente e recuperar parte da sua mana, né? Que seria bem viável.
Sim, ele já gastou, voltou da base agora, já gastou quase 50% ali da mana, então tem que tomar bastante cuidado. O Revolta vai farmar, vai voltar pro jogo. Acho que a parte mais difícil tá passando desse matchup, a parte mais complicada pro Yorick e pro Revolta. Vamos ver se a partir do level 6, principalmente, o Revolta consegue causar mais problemas aí pro White Lotus.
Ele conseguiu agora voltar o White Lotus pra rota, vem com um seto vampírico fechado e mais poções de vida, perdão. Deixa ele numa situação bem confortável.
Deixa, porque ele vai ter o sustain, esses tokens de cura, vai ter o roubo de vida aí do seto, tem da espada de Dora, então tá tranquilo pra ele. O problema é, o Revolta começando a causar dano. White Lotus, já pra gente é bom.
O problema é que o Revolta gastou ali, usou 2 espectros e acabou com a mana dele. Vai voltar base de novo.
Sim, tá bem complicado pro Revolta segurar aí o uso da sua mana. Vai esperar a exaustão voltar ali, falta 20 segundos pra exaustão do White Lotus voltar, que é a mesma coisa que falta pra exaustão do Revolta, então ele vai tentar por tudo ou nada. Voltou ali com mais mana, precisava disso.
E lembrando, pessoal, próximo jogo também é Brasil, é Kami contra Arce. E se vencer, vai pra terceira rodada. Mesma coisa com o Revolta, se vencer, também garante vaga na terceira rodada. Curiosamente, Revolta e Kami podem se encontrar na quinta rodada.
O Revolta que não evoluiu o Q, né? Ele tá com 3 pontos no E e 2 pontos ali no W. Então, sem incendiária, eles estão agora em 20 segundos. Então vamos ver, a pegada de vocês, vai ter exaustão incendiária daqui a pouco, pode partir pra cima do White Lotus. Que no level 6 não tem. Só que esse é o problema, o Revolta não pode perder vida agora, Revolta administra. Vai tentando se curar o máximo que pode, deixa esses minions chegarem na torre. Esse cristal de safira ajuda muito, porque olha só agora, gasta um espectro, a mana dele não baixa tanto assim. Então é esperar o level 6 e conseguiu. Agora é partir pra cima e pro all-in e tentar... aproveitar que o White Lotus também tá level 6, também tá com pouca mana. Tudo bem que a Kalista vai gastar só nas lanças ali, então deve ter sido o que o White Lotus evoluiu sem o dado, tá aí, tá na tela. Level nível 3, o K nível 3 ali no E também.
O problema é que agora o que acontece, o White Lotus vai administrar. Ele tem 40 minions de vantagem, ele pode simplesmente jogar a partida pro 100 de farm e dar o jogo.
Sim, ele pode jogar recuado, só farmando, esperando o Revolta ir pra cima. O Revolta também não tem muita mana novamente. Vamos esperar, o White Lotus por enquanto vai se dando bem.
Ficando bem, Revolta então ainda vai tentar provavelmente a qualquer momento uma win, né? Porque vai ter um ponto que chega ali 95 de farm. Ou você dá um win, você vai perder o jogo de qualquer forma, você ainda tenta pelo menos causar o dano pra vencer a partida.
O Revolta farmou um pouco, causou um pouco de dano no White Lotus, mas tá complicado pro Revolta. O jogo vai ficando um pouco complicado.
E agora, exaustão junto com esse diário, exaustão também do White Lotus. Será que agora? Será que é do Brasil? Será que é do Revolta? Mais um ataque Vasco talvez, mas é fácil de vitória do White Lotus.
Não tinha mais mana o Revolta quando foi pra cima, quando deu esse incendiário exaustão. Eram só os 2 últimos carniçais ali, ele tentou uns ataques básicos. O White Lotus foi caetando, foi estacando lanças e quando puxou, destruiu o Yorick, a primeira derrota do Brasil nesse International Wildcard.
Aí ele nunca tinha aparecido o jogo Kami, né? Ele também tá se preparando pra sua partida.
Yeah, there is a Riven that is pretty much a key thing, but against a Kassadin, if you don't kill him before 6, you're not going to kill him. In that matchup, there's not enough crowd control and burst to actually shred him down once he gets Rift Walk available, so they're going to have to make use of that fairly soon. For people that maybe aren't as familiar with the Hunter's Potion, every time you kill a large monster, it will regain a stack, so it is a refillable potion just by jungling.
Yeah, super refillable. Yeah. It will keep you sustained literally for all of your jungling needs. Majka looking for a gank into the bottom lane on Elise. Lex heading forwards, has kind of given up the game just a little. White Lotus put some damage onto the Elise. Demonco gets the stun off onto Arcee, but Lex is there just trying to farm away, just giving an extra bit of breathing room to the Graves, allowing him to get some of that CS. And actually right now he is slightly ahead in that measurement. Yeah. Heading into this bush, places down the ward. I actually don't know if that would have spotted it. I'm going to go with no, since he's staying around. The flash into the combo. And that would be the flash coming in from Brand. Looking for the flash from Lex as well. Has already popped the heal. Turns around, blasts them with the auto attacks. And Demonco will head back into this bush. Actually going to hold for a second. I did not see that ward go down, I don't think. Lex will take the damage coming in from the Silver Bolt. The blast back with the Condemn as well. Damashko was thinking of going for a gank, but that has now been warded up in that bottom bush, so we'll be heading back into his jungle. A lot of action in the bottom lane so far, but the minion count has just evened up just a little in the bottom.
I'll say in that little engage, I mean, brilliant knockup. That's what this Graves Brand lane is going to struggle against. The distance, the spacing in the lane is so difficult against an Alistar, but now his flash is not available. So that means that that's not going to happen again anytime soon. Double laning mid lane as Damashka's like, well, you're a Riven, I can get my Kassadin to 6, I'm just going to sit here. I like it, just get Kassadin through safely, allow the recall. Very interestingly, and obviously against the Riven you want to take exhaust in general. No teleport on Kassadin, a big departure, and this is again, you cannot let that laning phase snowball away from you because of the presence of Rift Herald. If a Riven all-ins and gets the kill, teleport's going to be nice just to get around the map, but the Rift Herald onto a mid laner or a top laner is just too much to actually deal with.
It's such a big deal, because the local goals you get from towers now is so massive. If you take that tower before your opponent, before they can get that down themselves, it's so much. It's like getting almost a double kill. Actually more than a double kill. And that's, it's difficult. But bottom lane once again, Lex is actually holding his own despite the short range of Graves. As his mini wave resolves though, White Lotus will have a slight advantage. Back in the middle lane, putting that down a bit of damage on Kira. He's not going to pick up the kill. Just trying to give Saya a little bit of help. But this Riven matchup in the middle lane is essentially even. Has a level 6 advantage and he's going to capitalize on it. Trying to get in with the combo. Didn't quite get the execute combo off. Waited just until the exhaust had gone down so he could use the Wind Slash. Needed one more spell, one more auto. That would have been enough, but that will send Kira packing for now and force Elise into mid lane.
And again, if that wasn't the exhaust, that was a kill.
Yes.
100% kill in that situation. So again, we're moving back to a metagame where summoners more important than just teleport. So I'm happy to see that, as it does allow for a little bit more exciting play in the lanes. And speaking of the lanes, top lane that we are looking at, Smurf is doing a good job. He is ahead of the Rumble, but Elior's time to shine is not this early on in the game. You need to wait until he's got at least some extra magic pen, look for the teleport plays with the equalizer. That is when the LATAM team are going to want to fight. And at this point, they're just waiting out of the game.
Yeah, not a lot has happened in that top lane, honestly. This has been a lot of farming. Smurf is pulling ahead in CS, just ever so slightly, but neither of those top lanes have gone back yet. Helior hasn't even felt pressure enough that he's had to pop a second potion. And Smurf will finally be going back to base. Actually, Helior's going to get a fair chunk of damage onto this turret while Smurf goes back. He has to teleport. I do wonder when he's going to use the teleport to go back up. White Lotus taking punishment from Lex, but will Smurf walk? He's heading back to base. He's a little bit undecided.
Yeah, he's walking.
He's walking, okay.
He's walking. I like that play because you have to now anticipate when the equalizer is back up. You have to anticipate the Rumble teleport. And at this point, if Smurf can't make that fight, he realistically can't push down the tower without Rift Herald. Fiora with Rift Herald is one of the most scary things I think I can think of for a top lane right now. If a Rift Herald goes on Smurf fairly early on, Rumble is going to have to just go and affect the map in other ways. Can't really afford to just sit there, but
The Star Ladder team right now are comfortable in where they are. Lex managed to regroup a bit of the CS lead that was built on White Lotus' side, mainly because Lex is just unable to get some of the range minions when the melee minions are still alive. You can see he will use the Q, just blast off the side ones, but has to forego some of the other CS just because it's too dangerous to farm.
The interesting thing is this game is made up of champion picks, which are probably the most aggressive we've seen today, and yet we haven't had first blood yet.
Yeah.
It's 8 minutes into the game. But, I mean, Saya tried to in the mid lane, but we should be getting kills very shortly. Like, all these champions are made literally just to blow us on the opposing team. And Lex started to, looking for an engage. He is level 6 over the 2 level 5s of White Lotus and Arce. And Demonco continuing to be annoying, continuing to be a pest as Brand. He's gone back yet. No, he has. He's gone for this great. Oh, the Frostfang. And White Lotus will carry on farm. So, basically, we're just playing Farmville at the moment.
Yeah, at this point, that is the case. I mean, that benefits of Faye. She's going to be fine. Smurf is potentially in trouble. Flash is the equalizer. So, that is the end of that one. But that is the Flash used now, may even force the teleport. Because Smurf is going to have that wave pushed in towards him in the top lane. Bottom lane, there is a trade.
And the line comes out, that will be the stun coming down onto White Lotus. He'll flash away, Lex taking a bit of punishment. Pyroclasm back onto the minions. And gets that 21 gold. Hitler in the top lane though, takes another turret shot. Vayak actually had the grand challenge on top of him from Smurf. They still want this kill, but they are too low. If either of them take a tower shot, they will go down. And that could be converted into a double kill for Smurf, which is not what they want.
Kassadin's roaming up. He can clean this up.
He's looking for Akira, putting down the damage, gets the W on, and the ultimate as well for the first blood. Cleans up the Rumble. Meanwhile, Fayak was able to get out scot-free, going back to base. So the first blood going over to the God of Death in the mid lane on Kassadin is actually quite a big deal.
I really want to see what happened top lane. I mean, you look at the situation that Smurf was in. We saw a brief glimpse of Smurf on half health backing away to his turret. Then the next time we see it, Rumble and Eve are both under half health and Smurf is still alive.
Yeah.
That looks like Smurf put up a massive fight under the tower, or it was a misplay by the LATAM team. But Kira, at this point, no teleports on either mid lane. It means Kassadin wins the roaming game every single time.
I mean, Saya didn't even try to go top. He went into the bottom sides of the map and tried to contest just in case. CIS decides to go aggressive down there, but actually didn't in the end, so his roam did essentially nothing while Kira went into the top side. We're going to see that one once again. Heroic defense under the tower.
So what happens here? Just miscommunication. Vayak goes in, takes so much damage. Helio finally goes in, doesn't quite follow up. Miscommunication all the way around there from the LATAM team, and they know at that point they can't really afford to go back in. So nice play by Smith to just hold this composure, but that was mainly just LATAM not being on the same page.
Yeah, Fayak didn't even stick around. He was like, see you later, mate. This is now you. Helio is taken down by Kira. Kamashka putting down some wards. This will be the dragon attempt by CIS, but LATAM, they're completely blind to this, and this will be the first dragon of the game going down. Not super significant as the game goes on, but still, it's a nice advantage to have.
And you can see the difference in communication here. The orchestrated play bottom lane by the Star Ladder team and the whole top lane compared to the LATAM team, who these are from different teams. We talked about the Star Ladder being 4 members from Hard Random, or previous Hard Random. So Arce goes in.
Demonco taking a lot of damage. We'll have to flash away. The crit coming into Lex. That will be the kill from Vayak onto Demonco, evening up the scoreboard real quick. And Static Ship has been the first item from White Lotus, so they will be pushing down this turret.
Is he going for it?
I hope
Is it going to be the
We have no indication just yet, as he hasn't got any other components, but after taking this turret, he should have enough to go back to base. We'll see. There's still time.
There is still time for the rapid fire cannon Static Ship. I believe in the build pulse. I look forward to seeing it, which could be the point at which, for once, Vayne is actually a valid AD carry in the early game, or at least mid-game that we're getting into. We're about 12 minutes into this one. One of the first towers is about to go down in the bottom lane as well, so I'm still hanging on here. But the Star Ladder team in that bottom lane, that has really been one of the only issues so far in this game, and I feel that maybe is a little bit harsh. But they picked themselves a very non-standard and a difficult-to-play bottom lane. Short-range AD carry with a funky reload mechanic that can't farm as easily as he used to. And then an off-meta support that likes to deal a lot of damage, but against an Alistar and can't. It's a weird one. They kind of picked themselves into a corner, but it hasn't gone too badly for them just yet.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of it. I just didn't know the lane was just gonna completely collapse, but they took the tower in the bottom lane. That's now easy though.
I mean, the theory behind it is they do have a fair amount of burst when you look at the damage that comes from a Brand and a Graves if you can get the explosion off the wall. But the LATAM team just haven't really been in a position to have that happen, because every single time there's been an engage, it's either been from an Evelyn gank or a Flash Pulverize coming in the middle of the lane. And that is the key thing, is if you can't get that instant explosion coming from Graves, you just walk away. You get out of the T and you don't take the follow-up damage.
So that's that lane in a nutshell. Like, Demonco, literally, their engage potential is so conditional and situational, where he has to land the stun for them to follow up, otherwise nothing happens at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, still they help their own, which is fine, but we just need to see what the Graves can do throughout the rest of the game, because it's really reliant on someone messing up from LATAM. And Arce, speaking of that, Saya over the wall, immediately with the exhaust coming through, Smurf will be heading back to tower. Took a bunch of damage, but the riposte blocked most of it. Lex now coming in and heading towards this wall. He will be doing a bunch of damage with the end of the line. Meanwhile, coming back into the fight will be Saya on that Riven. Kira now turning around, will have to use his ultimate to get away. The Rift Walk immediately finds Helior though, and he is going to town onto Lex and also Kira. A 3-0 over to LATAM team.
The Star Ladder team just do not have the point in the game where they have enough damage to clean up these fights on the Katydid. Still need a little bit more time before they can do that, and the LATAM team have a fair amount of damage with this Riven, with this Rumble who came in to clean up the tail end of the fight, but it was a weird position because Vayne came down through the jungle, and Arce took enough time from the Star Ladder team to just force the fight to go longer and longer, and more people from LATAM just ended up joining, and that was the way they were taking it down. That went to Evelyn. They're taking the Rift Herald. It's not the worst thing in the world to have it on the jungler, but it's certainly less optimal than somebody who's going to sit in the solo lane. And, this was the beginning of the fight, so Arce takes a lot of time here to actually even drop low. Great riposte, by the way, from Smurf, otherwise he was 100% dead. At this point, Lex, look, he's trying to get in and deal damage, but he gets pulverized. Again, it's a short-range AD carry into an Alistar. He will get hit by that, and the rest of the LATAM team just come in to clean up.
Gotta say that the damage was juggled so well by the LATAM team, by the way. Like, as they split, literally, Arce tanked so much damage as Star team believed they had the pick there. But, I mean, Alistar's always going to be Alistar. He's always going to have the unbreakable will. Lex clearing out these minions here. So, that was just a bit of a misplay. And just believing he had a little more than they had.
The other side of that is using Grand Challenge on an Alistar. I mean, yes, you get increased damage from hitting the vitals. The thing about that is if you don't get the kill, Alistar is obviously one of the more difficult champions to kill. You don't get the heal, you can't stay in the fight. So it is risky making a play like that, to go onto a tank with the Grand Challenge if you aren't 100% sure you can kill them. And that is what happened there, and Star Ladder's just kind of team fight fell apart. As soon as Smurf had to back away, it's a massive amount of damage, not in the fight.
If you rewind as well and had the Grand Challenge on either Saya or Helior in that fight, it would have been way she would have been damage to make that happen. Demonco drops low, the immediate engage, and he just disappears off the map. Smurf comes into the fight, teleports in, but just a couple seconds too late. I gotta say, from the top lane, remember now that the teleport is half a second slower. It's now up to 4 seconds, and that can throw off the top lane just a little. And the ultimate comes in, the equalizer comes out, and that's so much damage. The first kill goes on to Smurf, and the rest of CIS are having to run back into their base even. It's 17 minutes, and LATAM are just pushing into the top lane.
You know what? I want to go back in time to Champ Select. First pick, Alistar. I wasn't sold on it. I am now. I'll say Alistar is on point this game. All of the dives are landing, the flash pulverizers are landing on multiple people, and it's clearly a valuable first pick here for the LATAM team. I actually think it's something you have to start kind of thinking about doing, having this dive potential with a team like this, because if you are making those proactive plays, if you're continuing to dive turrets, then you can snowball a game pretty effectively. The problem is we have seen every single game today start this way and get stalled out just through needless fighting sometimes.
Well, we'll see if LATAM will correct some of those mistakes that have been made so far. Fire! The damage coming in from Kira. He wants blood. He has the Rod of Ages as well.
And it's these kind of plays that stall the game. Thayak taking a random route, going over a catwalk. Yes, they had a ward on the catwalk, but around the top side of that jungle, you didn't have anything. There was nothing to spot anybody coming over from Wolves, and that means the StarLadder team now are looking for their second dragon in the game. Yes, it's only number 2, but again, it's slowing down the lead that LATAM have.
Yeah, Dragon's going to reset real quick, but CIS should be able to get this. That goes down. But if LATAM win this game, by the way, this will be the 4th game in a row Blue Side has won. Is this still a coincidence, Yamato Cannon? Still? I don't know. But blue side.
There is a lot of disdain in that.
It's such a bad comment. But,
almost like when we opened the day with the OPL casters talking about Soraka and jabbing at me for a little bit. I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. 100% pick ban in this tournament.
Yep. No. Soraka boys. So then Kira deciding to recall in the middle of lane. Ballsy decision. The Wolves now be heading back. The Vision War continues, taking out that ping. However, the red was taken by White Lotus. And lo and behold, take a look at that build. Stress.
There we go. It is complete.
Love it.
All about the empowered auto attacks.
We mid-game now, boys. Saya on Riven, Rumble, the mid-game power spike of the Vayne build. Fantastic.
I love it. It's great.
It is great.
Has
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I really want to see this in action. That's the thing. It's I love getting to see some Vayne, a bit of Vayne starting, but thus far there has been
no points at all for White Lotus. He's just too good.
Well, so far,
just stays at 6 assists and goes like 0, 10, 6.
I want to see it. That is some damage.
That is some damage.
That's some damage. Some meaning more than none, and a little bit short of a lot.
But, Saya going deep though onto Lex, jumps after him and picks up the kill at the cost of his own life. Probably worth it, was a flashy play, we'll give him that. White Lotus almost caught out by the cocoon, but sidesteps just in time. Arcee taking a bit of damage in from Smurf as he comes in from the sidelines. Level 11 has that tier 2 ultimate. The Magic will have to head on back. Fire jumps into the fray, but he should be going down here as Smurf jumps after him. He doesn't even get the kill, and he picks up that one. Helior now jumping onto Jamalke, and this will be a 5-for-1 over to LATAM.
Great fight out of LATAM again. The equalizer just cutting off the escape path right up to the base of the tower, and you can see White Lotus, as soon as he can get those empowered auto attacks off, there's a big spike of damage. Then the Silver Bolts proc comes through as well. Really nice play and a great adaptive build onto a Vayne. I really like seeing this kind of adaptation with the preseason.
Yeah, there's so much damage, that empowered auto as well, so long range. You can, if that comes up in the middle of your combo, it's just like you get your third proc. If it's at the start, you just start running after them. Like, it's just so good.
Rapid Fire Cannon is one of my favorite preseason items because there are so many dumb champions that it works on.
Yeah.
I mean, Twisted Fate is kind of one of the more standard ones now that we're seeing. You build on Twisted Fate. This was 522, by the way. I don't really think it's as effective on 523 with some of the changes we saw to Gwinsu's, but that's one champion I like it on. It also works on Hecarim, by the way, and Rengar. So
probably the most disgusting one.
I hope we haven't ruined solo queue. I think it was Rusty and some of the OPL guys were telling me about Rengar, so I look forward to trying that out. But certainly on Vayne, that's an interesting one, where who normally is a short range AD carry, she becomes a normal range AD carry. It's great.
And that makes her very strong. Yeah, but man, Rengar, that is literally the stuff of nightmares. I believe it goes up to 800 range, which is, for context, 8.5 T-modes.
Is that context?
It is for me. I literally think in terms of T-modes.
That's because you're about the same size.
Well, yeah, but so are you.
I didn't say anything about me, but Kieran has been caught.
He has been caught. White Lotus chasing after, does not get the third proc of the Silver Bolts there. And these teams literally just going back, farming, and then they just go all in. Like, this is literally how this game is going.
It's how the last... 4 games have been. Kira's going in.
Oh, White Lotus is dropping low. He'll get out of there, but meanwhile Smurf is facing off against Saya. Gets the better of him in this one. The Grand Challenge heal comes out. He is not going down in a hurry. Helior, great ultimate. Will be able to pick up the kill though onto Lex. The answer is a yes. Picks up that one. Still running for his life though. Smurf in the one-on-one with Fire. Fire comes out of there. And Kira is looking to chase down this Rumble. This is, yeah, literally a lamb caught in the crosshairs of a very angry Kassadin. Mid lane though, Arce and White Lotus is taking down this turret, because why not? So I think net gain over to LATAM.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, White Lotus didn't die, managed to kite back at the beginning of that fight, and that fight spanned all the way from mid lane up into top lane. The entire jungle was the battlefield for that fight. Very spread out, difficult to keep on top of everything that happened, but the key thing is, again, Helios' ultimate hitting like 3 people in an enclosed space in the jungle is just enough to decimate the Star Ladder team, or at least a lot of their health bars. You could see that Helios didn't have a Zhonya's Hourglass. Of course, that recipe price increased on 522 to a considerable amount. It's like 1100 right now, which when it was 500, you used to be like, great, got my components, I'll farm 2 waves, come back. This he didn't have it yet, was still waiting on that. He actually probably would have gotten a triple kill had he had the Zhonya's. That was a big AP item change that you just see reflected in the gameplay.
And he has now picked up the Zhonya's,
yes.
So in the next fight we should be in better shape, for Kira at least. Actually haven't paid too much attention to the rest of the build so far in this game. Lex has picked up the Essence Reaver, pretty much the item of choice for kind of caster AD carries coming into this patch. Tracker's Knife as well, picked up by Damage Pick. Great for the early game, and kind of just a nice replacement in general to the Sightstone, so yes. You can actually just place down a couple of wards. I have the Equinox, new item, picked up by Arce in the bottom lane. And I have to also question how well the brand pick has been working out, because we've seen a bunch of damage being done. I would like to see the damage graphs out of this game as well. And also in lane it was okay, but he's now 0-5, usually being the one to die in these fights. Gonna shut up for that one for a second as the engage comes out. Once again, another fantastic ultimate coming in by Rumble, and that will disengage the fight just for now. Lex was the one taking the brunt of that damage. Now LATAM will head back into this mid lane. CIS also just on the retreat. And the Riven ultimate does not do a lot of damage against people who are full health, but the Kassadin W will.
However, with the Rumble ultimate down, LATAM have to be careful here. They can't really afford to take the fight unless, man, they chunk Timonko's health out. Timonko, by the way, has completed Frost Queen's Claim, which is an item that typically does not get completed for a very long time. Kira goes in.
Just get caught real quick, but he still has the Zhonya's. Remember, Timonko has to flash away, otherwise he would have been dead meat for LATAM, as they are looking for the chase. Riven's on the front lines here. And that's another summoner spell burn. Actually, a lot of summoners there. Ignite, Flash, Heal burn away from the Star Ladder team. And now LATAM will turn back onto Baron.
This brand support just isn't working. You've admitted defeat by picking up a Giant's Belt on top of it. Frost Queens was just used. They're going to try and engage.
Helio just caught in enemy lines, and now Kira jumps in as well, but he has gone into the Zhonya. Smurf jumping into the back lines. He'll have to flash away as well. Kira looking for the assassinate onto Alistair, but unfortunately he has the ultimate up, but there's the Grand Challenge and the heal. Everyone from the Star Ladder team will pile into the heal just to allow them to be a little bit healthier for this chase. Timonko looking for the stun. The jump back in from Saya does not quite connect onto the right target. Wind Slash comes out for the first kill onto Vayne. As Shutdown comes out, and this has quickly turned into a bloodbath. And CIS come out dominatingly ahead. 5-1 in that trade. And Helio just caught with his pants down.
It's again another example of a team not being prepared to fight. The Rumble ultimate was still not available at the onset of that fight. They turned back to the Baron buff thinking they've deterred the Star Ladder team for just enough. And the LATAM team, why all in the Baron there? Why go for that? Because at this point, you know you're significantly far ahead. You know that you have the lead. You've got the extra damage. Why give them the opportunity to get kills onto the Kassadin? Very strange. And what was Helio doing up on the platform in the jungle? I'm a little bit surprised. He died before he even managed to get his Zhonya's off, so he was just way caught out.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think he was trying to get vision, maybe deep vision by himself, but as a priority pick and Rumble coming into these fights, you need to be in the back lines. Sacrifice Arce for all they care, really. I mean, Arce is usually absolutely fine. He had his ultimate still available, so he would have been good to go. But still, see what happens in this next fight. Dragon is still up, remember. And the first two have gone over to CIS. This Scuttle Crab will go down, and it seems to be preparing for another fight once again.
Demonko is going to utilize that giant spell going towards Arale's Crystal Scepter, which is standard, but giant spell first was basically saying, well, I don't do damage, so I'm going to continue to not do damage, and then I'll get damage with the needlessly large rod, and just hope I can burn enough people to enough and land those stuns. He is only level 10 though. He is hurting quite a lot. Alistair level 12 right now. And that pretty much position results in Dragon going to Latam. That is the first Dragon of the game. It's going to slow down the ability for Starladder to look for a 5-Dragon spike, which we saw in our last game pretty much turn things on its head.
Yes. I mean, that game was literally just rotating all over the place. Like, you couldn't really just tell who was going to win that game until that smite came out. Fantastic steal coming in. But Damashke will be the only one clearing out the Baron wards. Taking the Scuttler is also quite a big deal, because the fight could erupt at any moment around this area. I'd like to talk a little bit about trinkets as well, because just in general, the blue trinket right now is really quite good. Places down a ward at the target location from long range. Doesn't disappear until it happens as well, so literally infinite if no one catches the ward item. So super good. We're seeing most teams pick up 2.
Yes.
In this game we're only seeing 1 coming in from Starladder team. Smurf potentially caught out here. Arcee on the front lines trying to get in range as the Iron Solari coming out, but it's not quite enough. 2 kills over to the Latam team. Just in a pick, Smurf and Demonko, quite a big deal heading into this fight. Kira will try to turn around, get an exit kill. Kira have to jump away, still has the Zhonya's Hourglass, but there's not one to go into Zhonya's right here. Elise may be going down, and that Spider does get fried, and the shutdown goes over to White Lotus.
There's so much damage behind the Latam team. Oh!
Going back in once again. Fayak did not even go down, and Lex, yeah, he's got first, but White Lotus had even more. Triple kill coming down. The triple item AD carry, 5-1 and 11. That build is definitely paying off.
I mean, I can see what they were trying to do there, but they're just 2 people, 2 squishy champions at that point, trying to go aggressive onto 5. Not gonna happen. That's the Baron going over to the Latam team. And, you know, you were talking a little bit about trinkets, and that was actually something that I'd be really interested to see different team dynamics. In some of the Chinese tournaments, we actually saw 4 blue trinkets and 1 red trinket, which I think is a little overkill. I think we're going to start to see the progression of probably 3-2 when it comes to red trinkets and blue trinkets, or 1-2-2 with 1 yellow trinket mixed in there. And the reason I think that is, it's highly dependent on what your jungler has gone for. Do you have trackers? Do you have sights? If you don't have an option for another ward, that's when the number of yellow trinkets goes up, because there are no green wards to be purchased anymore. And that is where I think we're going to see the biggest disparity. It's highly jungler dependent.
Okay, we'll see if that theory rings true, as we have a lot of games to go. This is only day 1 of the IGCA. Still have another 3 days to go after this one. Still booked on games today as well. The 1v1 tournament will resume later. And CIS are just hunkering down in their base, just trying to wait for the oncoming storm, which is Vayne, which is dealing a lot of damage right now. Also has a quick silver sash, so it's going to be so hard to pin down.
I mean, Latam have problems pushing up the turret unless they dive, which is kind of risky. Rumble comes out, there goes the turret. That's enough to push through. That is the play that they needed, but now they've got to get this inhibitor and back away.
Yeah, the turret is broken, the inhibitor goes down. This will be enough for Latam for now. They'll back off. Do have that Baron buff and will rotate towards the mid lane. But they can siege those turrets fairly effectively. Okay, you have a Vayne, and before this patch, usually you say, well, Vayne isn't able to siege very well, but when she has rapid fire cannon, actually sieges fairly well.
And when she has Baron minions. Kind of like the flowchart for this whole sieging situation for Latam is, do we have Rumble ult? And Alistair ult, kind of in with that. Do we have Baron buff? If any of these, or both, are yes, siege and dive. If not, do it back away, prepare for other objectives. That's pretty much the Latam flowchart. Yeah, the flowchart. But Thick steps up, not too much damage put onto him. Kira, that was not for that trade.
That was not a lot of damage. I will say that much. Doesn't have a voice staff yet, doesn't even have the death cap, so the amount of AP he has right now is not a whole lot. Not usually seeing a lot of Rod of Ages either, just because of the length of games, but we've seen the games today going fairly long, or at least long enough for them to stack up and be really valuable. Helios just gets CC'd up here. Fayak from the sidelines though, looking for the flank. Arce on the front lines, has the ultimate available. Fayak has the grand challenge on top of him, and Smurf wants him, but he's instantly exhausted, down and taken out. Arce still right there, tanking up for his team. Helios jumps forwards onto Demonko. Not sure if the flash is worth it for the support, but Seiya, CC'd underneath this turret, will be jumping away, cleanses out of that one, and the repel comes up. Damashk's still alive, but Kira needs to try and get out of here. He goes down though to Fayak, and man, Starladder, they are just bleeding out in this game. The two big carries are down.
LATAM are looking to push in for the win. Another double knockup by Arce. They're actually going to pull back by the looks of it, play it a little bit more conservatively, perhaps than they need to. I mean, okay, Smurf is up soon. Pinkward stays. Ah, well, I mean, it's a risky one. The rest of the team are recalling.
I mean, is there any reason to try and finish right now? I mean, no. it would be ending the game, but if there is the slightest chance of it going wrong, then why not just back away? The result is going to be the same regardless of when they fight again.
Perhaps. I feel like they, with a pick, they probably could have looked for more. They are
I think so too.
So far ahead that it's a possibility. I want to pick up on something, talking about Rod of Ages, actually, that I actually agree with Yamato on, something he's been talking a lot. The AP item reshuffle on pre-season patch, where they all got kind of a cost increase to kind of compensate for the cost decrease and adjustments that came earlier. I actually feel like Rod of Ages is a pretty strong item right now when it comes to mid laners specifically, and not to the point where you just build it on everybody, but the champions that do use Rod of Ages are going to be very strong. I pretty much tie into Yamato's point on that. Like, we're going to see a lot of Kassadin, I feel like, on this patch.
Yeah, I mean, when it's fully stacked, it has crazy efficiency. Yeah. Like, not quite Quincy's levels of efficiency, but up there. Like, really, really good. But yeah, once you can get that stacked, it is good. Mid lane, actually, Tiamat picked up from Riven. We actually do see kind of one or the other. You see, like, the Tiamat build or the Black Beaver build, as you rack up stacks so quickly on multiple targets with all your broken wings. W, like, there's so many ways to do that. But it does not allow you to get the animation cancels in from some of the combos, which is a little bit annoying, but still, it's fine as like more of a team fighty build.
I'm still hesitant on this Graves. In the AD carry role, Starladder are going to look to set up a pick. They only hit RC with the stun, so that is not the target you want. That's an Alistair. He's just going to throw on Unbreakable and just kind of just stand there.
There's been a lot of focus actually from the CIS team onto the Alistair in this game. Smurf was going one-on-one against Fayak, did not get the better of in this duel. Fayak jumping onto Damashka, he'll be jumping away. There comes the Rumble Ultimate once again, just zones them away back into their tower. Kira jumps in, tries to get the kill onto White Lotus, doesn't quite get it. The shutdown comes in onto Seiya though. This is looking like a better fight coming in for the CIS team. And they should be able to pick up Helio as he comes out of that Zonius, and then indeed they do. A 2-for-2 is good enough for now, but they have to play tower defense because all these minions are doing so much damage to that tower.
Yeah, they're going to clear them out though before it actually takes it. Very weird choice in this situation. I mean, the LATAM team consciously backed away about 2 minutes ago in a position where there were fewer people there from the Starladder team to actually then get caught up in a fight when the equalizer didn't quite land flush. Yes, it zoned away, but Helio just didn't do much damage with the ultimate, so we really are relying on that to keep them safe. Well, I say keep them safe by killing the enemy. Since best defense is a good offense.
I mean, that's the composition right here. Like, it's literally just go in, press some buttons, hope it works out. That's basically League of Legends, actually.
I was gonna say that actually.
Go in, press some buttons.
Just press buttons. It's great. Like, any buttons. But at this point, Starladder, they're hanging on. We're seeing a lot of these games get stalled out. And again, this is something that I expect out of some of the All-Star teams. It's just the communication when it comes to mid and late game shot calling is so difficult. I mean, you see LCS teams struggle with it.
Oh yeah, Fayak has found Lexo, will be going into his own Zonias. Is there a member of this game who does not own Zonias? Smurf gonna go down actually. White Lotus jumped over the wall. himself a double, looking for the triple. He gets that one. That's another kill going up to Seiya. And just in the blink of an eye, that actually could just be game. Arce is just going to start headbutting away Kira. Nice rip walk. It doesn't really matter because I'm just going to keep headbutting you. And actually, there's no minions, so this is going to maybe take a little bit. But as soon as those minions flood in, this could be game.
I mean, that's just decisive calling in the middle lane right there. They knew the White Lotus was exceptionally strong. Kira's trying to hold on with the minions pulling them around, but that is going to be the game ending here. Kira's going to hold on, gets a kill for himself, but it's not enough to keep StarLadder in this game.
Valiant attempt, but that 5-1 will seal the deal, going over to the LATAM team, securing their first win.
I like what their comp was showing us. I like it. A lot of fighting, a lot of strength in fighting. If you're going to take random scrappy fights, bring a Rumble. Yeah, realistically, bring a Rumble. The Fiora wasn't enough to shut him out in the early game. Rumble manages to go huge the entire game, and he wasn't the only one going huge. I mean, credit to the bottom lane duo from LATAM. I actually think they're a force to be reckoned with looking at that. Alistair and the Vayne. I mean, Alistair 0-1-26, Vayne 8-1-15. A lot of those were picked up at the end, but still, a great performance overall.
Yeah, in the words of Huni, I love it. Riven and Rumble as well. It's the composition.
This is the Huni comp.
Yeah, it just needs a Hackromith now. What else?
A lot of things, but well. what it did have was the ability to fight and take the fight to StarLadder again and again. And as much as they were trying to clean up with the Kassadin, I feel like they were hamstrung by the Brand and Graves a significant amount. I mean, the Brand, yes, they were getting stuns. Yes, Graves was able to do damage, but I felt like that lane pairing fell so far behind very early on that it was so difficult to recover.
Yeah, we were a little confused by that lane, but you also have to remember that Alistair was that first pick. Yeah, and Alistair did so much work in this game. As you mentioned, just 1 death and 26 assists. It's absolutely insane. But that's enough from us. We're going to send it over to the Alistair to take a look at that game.
Well, thank you very much, guys. We did say after the Brazil game, LATAM was going to have to regroup and work on it a little bit, but they just looked incredibly impressive, and you especially were really enjoying the way they played this game.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I want to start off like at the beginning, right? In the pick and back.
That is a really good plan.
And we had the Kassadin Rivet interaction. And Kira here, he wrote the wrong name for those who watch anime at least. He should have put the Kassadin, they should have put the Kassadin against the Rumble, because this is a match we've seen in the past in Korea, and it's super good for Kassadin because the magic shield actually does something, but against Riven, it's so hard.
Yeah, and you know, you got to give Kira some credit. He did leave the lane, try and roam around, got first blood up there in the top lane, but I completely agree, and if Worlds taught us anything, it's this Fiora-Riven matchup is very versatile, and Fiora is a great mid laner. Just because she has that dash so early on, you cannot gank her, and I honestly feel the same. If they had to set up that matchup in the top lane, sent some jungle assistance up to help Kira out, he was set up to snowball this into a pretty big lead. Instead, just didn't work out that way.
And also on top of that, Dimashke on the Elise, he has to do more in the early game. The Evelyn got to farm up and eventually got the item. The first buy needed Villaggio, which I thought was hilarious, but it worked out in the end because she was doing a lot of DPS and Elise just fell behind because she is kind of built to be strong in the early game.
Yeah, definitely not the Elise play that like we saw it from Revolta, who is absolutely wrecking on that. Evelyn doing all the work. And then the early game, Kassadin, as you said, did get the first blood, got going, but couldn't capitalize on it. And then a team fight happened. Let's get that up on the screen. And I think that that is something that we really have to commend, that's what I meant. LATAM for is the way they play these fights, and they're so scrappy, Pastry Time.
Yeah, I agree, and this replay was just awesome when I watched that live. So this starts out very well, actually, for the CIS team here. We're going to roll the replay out now. Just watch what Smoke does here. He's going to get CC'd. Kira's now chasing down. Arce, not the best target, but they'll be okay. Seiya jumps in, instant exhaust. Stan parries the wind slash and tries to flash away. And Seiya, he's got no ulti. You'd expect the Ribbon not to do anything, but he knows he's still got enough range. He's going to go back in because his team's here and watch his 3-man knockup. Pulverize, 3-man knockup, and then just plenty of DPS everywhere. Even flashes out at the end. They chase down who they can, they get their kills, and this was how they played all of their fights. Get aggressive, start the fights, and White Lotus cleans up.
I think the most impressive thing that Latin America has shown is their coordination in fights. Same thing in the game against Brazil, the Lissandra engages, they are so coordinated, which is super impressive.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to say, that they're doing really well. Their mid laner, like big cojones, he will jump in and like completely smash people. He was doing it on the Lissandra, this time on the Riven. Even without cooldowns, he just always wants to brawl these guys.
Bit more of a suitable champion, I think, on Riven. Lissandra was like, yeah, you're trying to be more of a control mage, but impressed by both these players. Kira did have his moments here as well, but C has just played so well the 2 games.
Yeah. Serious cojones indeed. Well, what is also very impressive to me from LATAM, as we said from Brazil a couple of times, and they admitted themselves, yeah, we need to work on our decision making and ending. When they got that 4 versus 0 or 3 versus 0 in that fight, they kept going. They pushed all the lanes. They kept pushing that fight. There were some problems in the end, but I am quite impressed by Latin America for maybe the entire tournament, although it have only been a couple of games.
Yeah,
so far.
I think what it's shown is that when they get ahead in lanes and they get that advantage, they're really willing to push it, right? These aren't people that are going to back away, and the turret dive in the mid lane definitely showed that, you know, they were able to get the equalizer down in the bottom lane and then rotate it straight away into the mid lane and just try and capitalize as much as possible.
I think the biggest difference I saw between this game and the previous game was their understanding of which AD carry they're supposed to pick. I feel Vayne into this matchup is perfect because the only thing that can happen is Brand catching someone in the stun. Okay, Graves can do something. Otherwise, he does kind of nothing. Because in the previous game against Brazil, there was MF, and she is super strong, and I don't think you should give it up.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the other thing that we learned from this is maybe that the CIS region hasn't spent as long practicing on the patch, because some of their item builds were really wonky. I'm going to point towards the Elise one that had a Frozen Fist in there without any armor. Go towards the Graves one as well. Generally, you want to go double BF sword item with your Essence Reaver into an Infinity Edge to get the cooldown reduction in there, but just was not putting out the damage he needed to.
Looking like they're already playing Ultimate Bravery, and they're up actually next.
Good segue there. And yeah, on the other side, the Rapid Fire Cannon static ship build that we heard Pulse talk about at the top of the cast, that's a very 5.2 super in a White Lotus. He made it work. Not only did he play well with his carry and his items, but the way he plays just kind of suits his team. It's so aggressive.
Yeah, and let's dig into that build and what it gives. It gives her 80% crit when she hits the Infinity Edge. It means that you can transition your lifesteal item into the QSS and the the Mercurial Scimitar. And on top of that, double passives from the static shiv as well as a cannon just means that with the ultimate, because of all the bonus AD you get from that, you don't have a weak part of the game. It really smooths out her power curve.
Yeah. Oriel CCS has some work to do, and LATAM looking very, very strong in their second game here. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, it's time for Ultimate Bravery! And South America versus Europe in that one, so don't go anywhere. It's going to be dope.